Before you become a leader of others, you must first lead yourself and master the art of solving your own problems. Hello, good people. This is Stella, your host on the Family Enrichment Hub, your center for family learning and for growth. Thank you for keeping it with the hub. Thank you for promoting the content that I share on this platform on a regular basis. I truly appreciate your great support. Today, I want to be sharing with us another subject which I believe is important to all of us who are raising children. We need to instill the virtue of children being able to solve their own problems. When our children were much younger, we were present. We were always appearing to solve every battle, every problem, every outcry which they had. We were visible because that was the stage for us to do that. However, as they got older, we started to teach them to be independent, guiding them, empowering them, and encouraging them to solve some of their life battles on their own. Because the truth of the matter, as parents, we shall not always be present, physically speaking. We shall not always be together with our children at any one moment in their lives. There is a time where we have to be away from them. There is a time where they will transition into boarding schools, where you're not going to be seeing them on a regular basis. And so before that transition happens, it's imperative for us as caregivers to empower our children with the tools, the skills, and the knowledge to be able to solve problems on their own. And basing on that, I want to help us use the example of the eagle. An eagle, when she is training her children to start learning to hunt for food, to start learning to use their wings to fly, an eagle makes the nest uncomfortable. When she notices that the eaglets are approaching the time when they need to learn to become independent, and that's at about 9 to 12 weeks time, she begins to make the nest uncomfortable by removing the soft material where the eaglets are comfortably cushioning themselves. And by doing so, she's actually exposing her eaglets to the hard twigs which are uncomfortable for the eaglets within the nest. By doing so, of necessity, the eaglets have to begin stretching out their wings, exercising their muscles so that they can be able to start flying out from this uncomfortable place. In doing so, they are learning to fly. They are also learning to get out of the nest and go and hunt for themselves. I want to pull some lessons for us as parents from the way the eagle trains her little ones. We need to learn to expose our children to certain levels of discomfort. Not all the time that you should avail your children with pleasure and happiness and just good life. Let them experience certain hardships. Let them go through certain discomforts deliberately from us, so that in that way we are training them to harden. We are teaching them to learn to be independent. We are teaching them to learn to solve their own problems, to find solutions in every difficult situation. I also want to share with us what the scriptures talk about. In John chapter 16, verse 33, Jesus, while speaking to his disciples, he told them, in this world, you're going to have a lot of problems, you're going to have a lot of challenges, you're going to have a lot of difficulties, you're going to have a lot of tribulations, but be of good cheer because I have overcome the world. So when it comes to us and our children at the household, we need as parents and caregivers to help our children appreciate that life is a mixture of joy and sorrow, of good and bad times. Challenges are a part and a package of life. You cannot run away from them. So let our children appreciate, whether they are in our care, or they are in the schools, in boarding, or they are in the workspaces, or they are raising up their own families. Challenges are going to be a part of normal day-to-day living. They cannot run away from them. So it is better for us to equip them to be able to solve their life challenges as and when they come, than shielding them from challenges which will be inevitable anyway, even if you struggle to shield them from those problems. And it's worth appreciating that if you keep solving all the problems and challenges that your child goes through, they are going to grow up lacking mental resilience and capacity to solve any issue, and they will be totally dependent on you. You're going to raise up adults who will live like their minds are still minds of a child who is still in a pamper. You do not want that, because you're not just raising a child for yourself, you're raising a child for society. You're raising somebody's spouse. You do not want somebody's spouse to be somebody who has an adult body but with a child's mind, because they cannot solve any problem on their own. If you can't lead yourself through problem solving, you can't lead others. And if you can't lead others, you definitely cannot lead a family. Neither can you lead within the society. So it's imperative upon us as parents to help our children, to expose them to certain challenges, so that will grow their muscle of resilience to be able to face life challenges on their own. Allow me to conclude with this. Don't leave your child to depend on milk perpetually. Help them to transition to solid food by empowering them to solve their own problems. Exposing them to age-appropriate discomfort will not break your child. It will teach them to learn to solve their own problems in life. Thank you, friends, for listening in. Kindly share widely, for this is how we shall transform our society through the family. God bless you. Catch you in 2 weeks' time again. Bye.